So we have seen all your comments. We know you guys want us to do more personal sharing on the show so you can actually get to know who we are as people, not just journalists. So starting this week, we're going to try to do a host choice segment every week to tell you more about us, but of course we'll still root it in news.
And so this week we're going to talk about travel, which I'm sure is on everyone's minds because it seems like this July 4th, a lot of travel records were broken. Like it was the most amount of people who've traveled on July 4th ever.
That's crazy.
And I guess part of it is because July 4th was on a Friday, so it kind of gave people the opportunity to get out. Cheaper travel, I guess, is a really big thing. Domestic fares dropped 3 to 4%. International fares dropped 13%.
Whoa. And just gas prices being so much lower than they have been in past years. A total of 72.2 million Americans traveled. So that's like a quarter of the country.
Wow.
And I just went home to Wisconsin, but you went on quite a trip. So do you want to tell us where you went?
Yes. So I went to Vietnam for 2 weeks with my boyfriend. So that was really fun and like different. It was like 24 hours of like travel. So it was like pretty exhausting, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a rare place to go on a vacation. And you've been to countries in like the Asian Pacific region before. Like what was different about Vietnam?
So I do feel like it was less westernized. Like I feel like than like Thailand or like Japan, where you go and you see a lot of like familiar elements in the big cities that you would see in like Europe or America. I felt like Vietnam felt like very far away and very like unique. And even though like France had colonized like Vietnam for a while, so you do see a lot of like French architecture, which was really cool. It seemed like such a fusion of like East and West. So you see like people squatting in the streets, like washing vegetables, and everyone was like Vietnamese. I feel like I didn't see that many tourists, which was really cool. So it was just like 2 weeks of really feeling immersed, which just like I was really excited because everything just felt like so new.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you were there for long enough that you got to kind of live the Vietnamese lifestyle, kind of live like the locals. And Vietnamese food is actually some of my favorite food because growing up in Madison, people might not know this, there's a ton of Vietnamese refugees that ended up in Wisconsin and Madison specifically. So Vietnamese food, we had so much in my house growing up.
Yeah, like because you and I went to like a Vietnamese restaurant when like my brother was in town a while ago, and I told you I hadn't tried that much Vietnamese food, and I like loved the restaurant that we went to, and I was like, I wonder what it'll be like when I go there. And it was so good. Like it just, I feel like because like obviously living in New York, we get to try so many different types of food. Nothing really feels, I don't know, like that new sometimes.
Yeah.
I just felt like everything tasted so like exciting. It was like fresh and like clean and like lemongrassy. So I honestly think like I was like rating all my different like favorite cuisine types, and I think like Vietnamese is like top like 3 or 4 now.
The peanut sauce, I would put like Vietnamese peanut sauce on literally anything.
And people like pho is like obviously such a big thing there. Like I didn't think it would be as big as it was, but people literally, we were like eating pho for breakfast. Like everyone eats pho for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Whoa.
So like lots of pho. But yeah, it was fun. Like we were also listening to a lot of like Vietnam War podcasts and like traveling kind of to the beaches and the mountains. So it was a very like immersive experience. And yeah, it was like super fun. I would definitely recommend people to go probably in the fall. We went in the summer and it was like insanely hot. So I guess like the fall is like a better time. But yeah, it was really fun.
That's so great to hear because I do feel like it's just kind of forgotten about. But traveling to Asia and the Asian Pacific regions especially is kind of the trend right now. I guess it's the fastest growing luxury travel region in the world, and it fuels over 40% of the worldwide travel market.
And we were kind of looking to why that is now, like why this trend all of a sudden. And I guess wellness, like purpose-driven journeys is a really big reason that people are like more interested in the Far East. There's a lot of government-led infrastructure boosts. Obviously, a lot of the currencies have kind of dropped a little, so it's cheaper to travel to like Japan now than it was before. And I guess India is the region's fastest growing national market. And you actually went to India a couple months ago, which is also like a huge adventure. So want to tell everyone?
Yes. So I actually went for 2 of my best friends' weddings. They were back to back, and Indian weddings are usually 4-day affairs. But because they were overlapping, we got 2 days at each. And the weddings themselves were cool to experience because the first one was a super traditional ceremony, and they're usually like hours and hours long. This couple did abridge it down to like an hour and a half. But there's so many, like you do 7 circles, and then like the groom washes the bride's feet. There's just so many customs that like are not in American ceremonies that I didn't realize were a part of it. And of course, it was in like this giant palace, and there was like sparklers and fireworks and like pyrotechnics. Like it was like a huge production. And then the second wedding I went to was kind of a hybrid Indian Jewish ceremony. So they did do some of the Indian like customs, but then they had a rabbi in India do like a Jewish ceremony after the Indian ceremony. So I got to see both. And that one was also in like a gorgeous palace. And that's, I guess, what you do there.
It's so lucky that both of your best friends were kind of getting married at the same time so you could go, because like that is such a long trip to make like multiple times. So that really worked out. Did you have time though to like see sights and stuff? Because you were like, you had a hectic schedule.
Yeah, so we had like basically a day to explore after the weddings. We went into the city of Jaipur and saw like the Pink Palace, and that city is known as the Pink City. And then the other city we went to is Jodhpur, and that is the Blue City. And literally the downtown is blue. So it's cool to see like both of those, even though we were just driving through them really. But then on the last day, we got to go to the Taj Mahal on our way back to Delhi. So that's obviously one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Ren, do you want to talk about the food or not? You have talked about your stomach on the show before, so we're all aware.
If I could eat spicy Indian food every day, I would. It just doesn't agree with my stomach. So that was definitely the only like challenge of the trip.
Yeah.
Just stuck to a lot of plain rice and like literally telling the servers like literally no sauce. Like, could I just have plain chicken? But we made it through.
Well, I'm glad your stomach turned out to be fine. But we are also interested in all of your travel stories, especially if you're going to Asia, like the summer or winter or fall. So comment below like your journeys that are coming up, because we'd love to hear more.